everyone, it's Caroline. Happy Saturday, good morning. I feel like the stars have aligned and I need to do a weekend reading vlog. Let me tell you my current situation right now. It's Saturday morning, I think I've already said that, and I am in the middle of 2 books and I would really love to be done with those 2 books by the time this weekend is over. So I thought that we could have a weekend together. These are the books that I'm currently in the middle of reading. We have Fates and Furies by Lauren Groff and Crying in Mart by Michelle Zauner. Both are good and I'm enjoying them, but for different reasons. I think that though I'm farther into this one. Peep my highlighter bookmark, they're all the rage. This one is shorter, but I'm like not as far into it. So I think I want to try and get this one done with. I've also been reading this one for longer and I have the audiobook of this one. So maybe we can go do like an activity while listening to the audiobook.
Derek's self-care.
I need to raise you up here a little bit.
Years. We're gonna see, I already forgot. That's how
okay.
When it's
there we go.
size spoon you need.
I'm just hanging out with my friend Kayla. I just finished up breakfast and I'm just sitting here contemplating my day, drinking my first of what will probably be 2 lattes of the morning. I'm gonna go to the gym, which is not very exciting, but it is a place where I can listen to the audiobook. So I'll get some of that listened to, and then I don't really know what else this weekend has in store other than just finishing these 2 books. This is the first weekend in so long where I have literally no plans, which is so exciting and wonderful. Like I don't have any like social plans, and then I also don't have anything that I like need to do, and it just feels so good. And I don't know if you can tell, but it's like a very cloudy, overcast day here in Manila, and I'm pretty sure that it's gonna rain, and it's just gonna be the perfect, like, stars are truly aligning. I think I said that at the beginning of this vlog, and like they could not be aligning any more perfectly. I predicted rain. Can you tell it's raining? I can't tell. Done at the gym. This is what I wore if you're interested. I did cardio on the treadmill and then I did like a 10-minute arms workout. Are you interested in that? Let me see if I can get this and sit. This is not my best angle, but we're not worried about things like that. While I was on the treadmill for about 30 minutes, and I got another like 10% or so of the audiobook for Fate and Furies listened to, which puts me at about chapter 14, I think. Chapter 14. So I now have less than 100 pages left in the book. And there was a line at the very end of chapter 13 that when I listened to it, I was like, ooh, if I had a highlighter, I would underline it. So that's what we're doing now. This book is interesting. I've pretty much been reading it since the beginning of May, and this is very unlike me, but I knew nothing about it going into it. I read no synopsis, and this is a story that is about a marriage and kind of about how a marriage comes together and then kind of how that same marriage falls apart. And the book is split into 2 different sections. We have Fates, the first section, and then Furies, the second section. And the first section is told from the husband Lotto's perspective, so you get kind of his backstory and then how he meets his wife Mathilde and then how they kind of come together, and it's very much from his side. The whole time that you're reading it, you can tell that there's things that Mathilde is most likely going through that you're like, Lotto, you idiot, like you don't know your wife at all. And then Furies, the second section, kind of takes place, it's more like if Lotto's section is how the marriage comes together, then the Furies, Mathilde, the wife section is kind of how it falls apart, and then the aftermath of that. But we're also getting some of Mathilde's backstory and then kind of like her perspective of things that happened in their marriage before the thing happened that caused their marriage to be no more. Even though I am enjoying my reading experience with this, just any time that a book I feel takes me over like 2 to 3 weeks to read, I just tend to kind of want to get it over with, even though every single time that I read it physically or on audiobook, I do enjoy it. I will say is that my prediction is right in that I do quite enjoy Lauren Groff's writing. I'm definitely interested to pick more up from her. I'm just not sure that a book about marriage is my preferred, like, gonna lose my mind, heart and soul over kind of thing. I do think she's laying out the story well. I do think it's well written. I do think that the two voices of each of the characters, the husband and wife, are written so distinctly and separately from one another, and it, like, you can tell that she's a brilliant writer. If you're interested in the line that I highlighted at the end of chapter 14, this just gives like a brief synopsis of her writing style. It's in these brackets, which are kind of throughout the entire book, and in this bracket it says, grief is pain internalized, abscess of the soul. Anger is pain as energy, sudden explosion. Oh, I love it. I love it so much. I don't even really know what it means. I mean, I do know what it means, but I'd have to sit with it. I just like the way the words sound. They just, oh, they're so good. And now I think I'm going to have not just a shower, but the shower, like the full exfoliating, moisturizing, like deep conditioning, that shower, you know what I mean? So I'll see you on the other side of that. This day I love so much. It is raining. It's just like the perfect gloomy, cloudy day out. So maybe I'll leave you here for a time lapse, and I'm gonna go shower. Okay, I truly feel like I've reached like transcendence. I took that shower earlier and it was glorious, and afterwards I took this nap and it was just like the best nap that I feel like I've ever had in my life. My Discover Weekly playlist this week, just like the algorithm really knew what it was doing. I had that playing in the background. I had like lavender incense lit, and it was just such like a beautiful golden glorious nap. And then I woke up and I like made lunch, have been listening to this music that I've been loving, and I finished this book, and it's really just incredible what not having like a pressing deadline, any pressing deadlines will do for your mental health. So the rating that I gave this one on Goodreads is a 3.5. I definitely enjoyed it more and more as the book went on, and I do think that I might have given it like a full 4 stars if I would have just been able to read it quicker, but like my brain wasn't being kind enough to me to be able to like read something like this. So it makes sense that like the last 100 pages were my favorite. I try so hard to not let like my outside world affect my reading life, but I'm just not, like, I can't do that. Sometimes I can depending on the book, but like this, it just wasn't the case. The writing in this one was complex, as well as the story, both like what was happening in the story and then the way that it was told as well. So it was just a very heady, like a very heady book. Okay, really quick, I'm about to head out to the store, but I was on Goodreads looking at other people's reviews of this. 2 things popped up that I felt like just were worth mentioning. One, every single review mentioned Gone Girl for some reason, and they were like, this book was nothing like Gone Girl. So I don't know where that came from, because I mean, one, they're right, this book is nothing like Gone Girl, and I'm almost wondering like if they were, maybe this book and Gone Girl were published around maybe the same time, and so that's why they got compared. But like, Gone Girl is a thriller, and this is definitely nowhere near a thriller, nor is it trying to be. So I don't know why someone would pick this up like expecting it to be like Gone Girl. It is like a husband and wife perspective on a marriage, and like things do get revealed in the wife's perspective, but not in the same effect that like Gillian Flynn was doing in Gone Girl. I don't know. And the second thing is that I know that there's been discourse around it, and I know that I think about it a lot too, and there's like lots of different opinions, but every single 1 or 2 star review that I read mentioned that the characters were so unlikable, and it was so hard to enjoy the book because of the unlikability of the two main characters. And let me wait for this siren to stop. I guess I just always have a hard time when people will rate a book lower because the characters are unlikable, when that's like the intention of the author. Like, yes, both of these main characters were hyperbolically unlikable, but that is what the author meant them to be. So she accomplished her job. So to like rate a book lower because the author like represented the characters the way that she intended them to is just always kind of weird to me. And I guess it just goes into saying like people can rate books however they want to. I don't know, like I feel like I liked this story even more. I don't necessarily love unlikable main characters, but you could so tell the intention that the author put behind like the way that she wrote these characters and her intention and the way she wanted the audience to feel. Hello? Okay, clearly my camera doesn't want me to talk to you about this anymore, but just like the author did what she intended to with the unlikability of these two main characters. Now I'm gonna go to the grocery store. You guys, I'm in my elevator going to the grocery store, and look what is in here with me. Hi, you are beautiful, but stay there. If you start flying, I'm going to freak the fuck out. Time for a grocery haul in this hideous lighting. I got 4 things at the grocery store. The first one was this bottle of Sauvignon Blanc. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. I've been loving this type of wine, any type of Sauvignon Blanc. It just tastes like summer to me. The second thing that I got was actually 2 different flavors of some type of hard seltzer. And then my last item was non-alcoholic. It was these Ghirardelli chocolate chips, because I'm going to try to make these, let me see if I can get this right, peanut butter and almond stuffed dates. No, wait. Dark chocolate covered peanut butter almond stuffed dates. I made them a few weeks ago. They were so delicious. So I have all the ingredients except for the chocolate chips. These are semi-sweet. They didn't have dark chocolate, but I figured that they'd work like just the same. Okay, here's a quick POV of what assembling these things looks like. So basically, we're gonna pit these medjool dates, and then we are going to slice them, well, like, when pitting them, we slice them down the center, and then we spoon peanut butter into them, and then we sprinkle some almonds in there too, and then we use the chocolate that is warming on the stove, and once we kind of like seal and pinch the date, then we cover it in chocolate, and then we put it on this parchment paper, and then we put it in the freezer, and a couple of hours later we have this delicious thing that like tastes like a Snickers bar, but better. And while I pit these dates, I thought that we could talk about my progress in Crying in H Mart / moving on to reading Crying in H Mart. Okay, basic date pitting process. You take the date, you take any knife you can find. Dates are typically pretty soft and malleable, so it doesn't have to be sharp. I'm using a butter knife. And then you find the pit, take it out, then get ready to stuff it with peanut butter. While I do the rest of these, Crying in H Mart, I've been reading it for a lot less time than I was reading Fates and Furies. And if you don't know, it's a memoir about the author Michelle Zauner, and at the time in her life, it's really all about her relationship with her mother, and her discovering that her mother has pancreatic cancer, I think, and then kind of going through that grief process. I'm about 90 pages in right now, and it's not that long. It's just over 200 pages, and I am enjoying it so far. I am wondering, a lot of what I've heard about this, it's gotten so much buzz lately, and I was really excited to read it, particularly because a lot of people have been saying that it's made them very emotional, and I haven't quite got there yet. I can see how the story itself is quite emotional, and I don't know if it's because I've been reading it at school when my kids are independent reading, which is only like 10 minutes at a time, which is not my preferred way of reading a book. Battery died, and I think that this one is gonna die too. But basically what I was saying, I forget where I left off, but because I've been reading it at school, I feel like I haven't let myself get emotional, just because I know I'm reading in front of like a bunch of kids, and so my mind doesn't let itself like fully experience the emotions. It's definitely well written. Her descriptions of like food and the Korean food that like her mom makes her, and that her mom, like they all order together and eat, it sounds like I get hungry while reading it. She's a very talented writer, but I am excited to like continue and like it even more, because I know that I'm capable. I just need to actually get there. Good morning. Another day, another dollar. I don't know. A couple of things. One, something weird is going on with my camera battery. It died last night, and then I charged it like overnight. The indicator light was green, like said it was fully charged, which obviously like if a battery charges overnight, it should be fully charged. And then I put it in my camera, and then I turned it on, and it immediately like went to red and said that the camera battery was low. And so then I put the camera battery back in the charger, and now it's on red. So now I'm worried that, like, is it my charger? And maybe I should try like switching out, because I have another battery. So should I try charging that one and see like, is it the battery or the charger? I have no clue. Maybe it's the outlet, because I'm using this outlet that I've never really used before in my apartment. I don't know, but apologies for the change in quality. I also don't vlog like this typically on my iPhone, so I hope that I'm like looking in the right place. I'm using the front facing view so I can see myself, and I don't even know, like, people who vlog on your iPhones, do you use the front facing view or the back facing view? I have no idea. Luckily, I don't even have a whole lot to update you on, just because last night I didn't read a whole lot. Basically, after the sun goes down, my brain won't let me read things. It's just like not in the cards for me. But I did manage to read a little bit this morning while I was eating breakfast and just enjoying my morning. And now I'm over 100 pages in now, and it is going better for me. I really want, because there are some errands that I have to run today. I would love if I could get the audiobook for this. My favorite thing to do with memoirs is to listen to them on audiobook, particularly if the author narrates them, because then I feel like I'm getting told someone's story. Okay, great news. We're back. We got our latte, and we have a significant amount more of our book read at this point now too. Also, the camera battery appears to be holding charge now, fingers crossed. So I tried switching the outlets, and that seems to have done the trick. So while I was on all of those errands, I was listening to the audiobook the entire time, and I maintain my assertion that memoirs read by the authors just like hit different. Michelle Zauner does a fantastic job, and now I am like, I would say about 70% of the way through, so I do have confidence that I can finish this today. I have less than 100 pages left, in between like having the audiobook and then just like the reading experience does go quickly whenever I sit down to read this. Like, we're finishing this today. I do really like the way that she's writing about her grief, particularly because I feel like when you read grief in fiction, a lot of times the authors will exaggerate it a lot for the sake of like evoking emotions from their audience, from the readers. And this one, I don't know, I really like the way that she writes the mundanity kind of in grief, and just kind of the small things that, I don't know, kind of maybe go unnoticed or unwritten about in like fictional movies, books, TV shows regarding like a theme of grief. Also, reading this just really reminds me how much I love reading memoirs. I've only read 2 memoirs this year, I think, but every single time I read a memoir, I just always end up having a good experience with it. So I'm gonna consider that in my future reading plans. I should consider that in my future reading plans. I forgot that last night, before my camera battery died, I was making those chocolate, oh! That's my sourdough that I cut up and put in my freezer this morning. What I'm trying to show you are these chocolate covered peanut butter almond stuffed dates that I was in the process of making last night. So I have already had, I think, at least one, if not two. And now seems like the perfect afternoon snack time to have another. Here it is. This is what it looks like. It's not necessarily like super fun to look at, like not much anything to look at, but the taste, it tastes like a Snickers bar, but better, because like eating a mini Snickers, I don't know, this is just so much more like luxurious and indulgent than just like a little mini Snickers bar. My good friend Allie on Instagram runs these super fun like month-long book stack battle challenge photo things. This month it was McDonald's versus Taco Bell, and the whole thing is that you're supposed to like pick a side and then pick books to like match that like aesthetic or theme and then post it. So clearly I am team Taco Bell. She, I think, gave colors that were like purple, pink. I think purple and pink because that matches like the Taco Bell design aesthetic. But here in the Philippines, they're still on that like blue, green, and then blue, orange, no, green, orange kind of wrapping. So I am gonna bend the rules a little bit because I want to be able to find books that match this so I can take a photo and participate in the challenge. Let's go through each one of my books and you all can help me. Okay, this one definitely matches. For sure, right? Oh my gosh. What else? Nothing really here. Maybe. This one, actually, this would be perfect because one, I just read it so I can feature it. And two, I actually buddy read this kind of with Allie. She finished it way earlier than me though, and she also hated it. So, oh my gosh, look at this. How many green and blue books do I have that I just didn't even realize? Okay. Anything down here? No, nothing there. This lighting is kind of messing me up. Nothing there. I don't think anything. No. No, I forgot about these. I don't think anything would work here. I don't really have much of a vision other than me just like kind of holding them all stacked like this, and then like casually having this burrito here as well. Can you even tell that this is like a Taco Bell burrito? Who knows? Does it look cool? I don't know. Go follow me on Instagram. The post should be up by now. I think the funniest thing about this whole thing is that I had lunch like a few hours ago, so I'm not hungry. So I'm gonna put this in my refrigerator and eat it later, I guess. I don't know, is leftover Taco Bell a good idea? Part of me kind of wants to feel ashamed at myself for ordering Taco Bell just to use as a prop in a Bookstagram photo. And then the other part of me is like, one, that cannot be the craziest thing someone has ever done for the sake of a Bookstagram photo. And two, who cares? Everyone, I don't know what to tell you about this lighting. It's just the color, like the sun has gone down, so there's no more natural lighting, and this is the color of my overhead lighting, and it's so god awful. But what am I gonna do? Get a lamp? Maybe. I finished crying in H Mart just now, which means that this vlog needs to come to an end. I really enjoyed this more and more as the book went on, I think, which is kind of the case with this one as well. Part of me kind of wishes that I would have just read this one solely like not at school. And I guess it makes me even more glad that I chose to finish it this weekend, because I was able to read all of it like in a personal setting, and so it meant more that way, I think. I'm not going to rate this just because memoirs like don't beg ratings to me. I think that if you're someone who enjoys memoirs, you're really gonna enjoy this. I think that if you're someone who appreciates food in their stories, and especially like, I don't know if this is a certain genre, but like food as storytelling, this you'll appreciate. I really have enjoyed this casual like weekend reading vlog with you all. I feel like I don't know that I've ever done just like a casual reading vlog. I normally feel pressure to center it around like a theme or an experiment or some kind of like readathon. But this was just so enjoyable because the whole thing the vlog was centered around was just finishing books that I was already reading. So I didn't feel any pressure to like discuss a certain thing or like, I don't know, read a certain thing or find a certain thing to read. I don't know why I normally tend to shy away from doing casual reading vlogs like this, but I think that I'm gonna try to do more in the future. Maybe not the near future because my life is about to get kind of chaotic, but after that, perhaps. Wherever you are, I hope that you're having a fantastic day. Let me know if you're considering maybe picking one of these up, or if you already have read these, what you thought. And I will see you again very, very soon. Goodbye.